I love you, but most of what you said is wrong. But I'm glad you asked the question because that does sound kind of like a typical politician's answer. I'm glad you asked because there's a tremendous amount of misinformation. First of all, there is no bill. Everybody is reacting to proposals. There is not a bill. There is a version out of the Senate, which is more balanced. There's a version out of the House, which is incomplete. We have an habitual offender law in Massachusetts today. We have had it for, I don't know, 15 years. In the last 10 years, 80 people have been convicted under the habitual offender law. In the last 10 years, okay? The bill that I filed would be a subset of that. So we're not talking about thousands of people. We're talking about a narrow list of what I think is 50 or 55 offenses. You have to be convicted of one of the offenses on that list 3 times and have served time each time. And in the third case, it's not that you go up forever. It's that your eligibility for parole is put out a distance. So instead of being half eligible after half your time, you're eligible after 2/3 of your time. The thing that people focus on is if that third offense is a life offense, you have to serve life. Okay? So and Leslie was in the other day. Have you talked to her at all? Leslie Walker, who's been doing, she does incredible work in this area, and I think because people point to the California experience. They have a very different law, which broke their budget, and actually it's not. I mean, to the point about making decisions consistent with our values. That's not our thing. That's not what we're trying to do. The other part of that bill, if I can go ahead and just say a little bit more. The other part, hey guys, welcome. The other part of that bill that we do especially need everybody to focus on is the sentencing reform part of the bill. We have participated in a bad national habit of warehousing people who are convicted of non-violent drug-related offenses when what they need is treatment. And so we have proposed in the same crime bill to reform the mandatory minimum laws so that we favor treatment over incarceration. We have also proposed to something called mandatory post-release supervision. So the more people are in step down, but they can be supervised when they are out. And things like I don't know if you followed the school zone. The school zone thing here is in cities is a big problem because basically everywhere is a school zone. We had proposed to move those from 1,000 feet to 100 feet. The compromise in the Senate was 500 feet. The House hasn't taken it up yet. So those elements on the other side, that's what I have been referring to as a balanced bill. Some of those elements appeared in the Senate version. The House hasn't taken that up yet. The House, I believe, will not complete their work until they take up that part of it, and then we'll get a balanced bill. Okay?
It's good to know that
it's complicated, it's complicated, and that the business of let me just tell you, that's the state of the bidding, right? So so far, meaning I don't have a bill yet. And there isn't a proposal out there that would send me the kind of 3 strikes bill that you described. Although that's what everybody thinks. But that's not what's coming to me. You don't know what I'll ultimately get, but that's not what we're working toward right now. Okay?
Yeah, he had actually taken my question, so I just wanted to add this then as a suggestion. One of the community organizers who organized a large meeting around the 3 strikes issue, and a lot of people are not even aware of the numbers. So we know that you filed was what 40, and then 34, 43, and then when it went to the Senate and the House, now it's 2080 in the Senate and 3818 in the House. Yes. Okay. So if you could, because it is so complex and there is a lot of stuff that's now been with the amendment since it morphed in the Senate and whatnot, what would be really helpful is if your office could provide some sort of a primer in your own words about what are the major differences between what you originally proposed and what's presently in the House. I think that'd be very helpful.
There's a written side by side of my proposal, the Senate and the House, Tree was in and Borders.
Is that the one Leslie Walker produced? Is that the one Leslie Walker produced from PLS?
There is one. Is
okay.
What I'm saying, and we've given it to a couple people. We need to get it out.
Okay.
There's some analysis still on the House version of the bill, which I think is the thing that set everybody off, even more than the Senate bill, that we wanted to complete before we put this thing out, so everybody have a clear idea. Frankly, I would have a clear idea of my position on the House version of the bill. But it's not done. And actually, a whole lot of folks here who care about that can come up and help us get a balanced bill in the end, particularly on the sentencing reform side of it. Where's Hayden?
I'm here. I can check in with you and get your attention.
Great. Yeah. Hang on one second.
Thank you, sir.